Today's tutorial is just a quick review of some Google Doc elements we have been teaching in the classes and to most of our teachers, but this way you have a tutorial to refer back to. First, you need to go to Google, log in with your joplinschools.org account, and this has been previously created by the coach or you. Be sure if you have any problems, check with the coach. Then once you're signed in, you are on the page that looks something like this. Notice at the top you have search, you have images, mail, Drive is where your documents are, Calendar is an awesome tool as well, and some other activities. You can hit YouTube and a few more apps. So you've signed in. Then once you're in your Drive, you can create documents. Notice the Create button. Documents are similar to Word, Presentation, PowerPoint, Spreadsheet, Excel. Form is where you create surveys and or tests, and we'll talk about that in our part 2 of Google Documents, Google Apps, excuse me. And then you can also create folders to organize your page. Finally, when you create a document, you get this screen. It comes up and it's labeled Untitled. You would need to click on the title, which is Untitled Document. You get this window here, in which you can then sign in and change the name to whatever you wish for the name to be. We've been teaching our students to use a naming convention, and that way they can take care of any problems, have consistency, and the teachers know what to expect when the kids are naming their projects. Then you have some options. You can, up here in the right-hand corner, you have a blue button entitled Share. Share is useful when the students are sharing documents with you. Share can also be used when you are wanting to have collaboration. So when you're sharing, you would then add people's names to this document, this window right here. Usually you can just type in their last name and it finishes it out for you until you find them. You would click Share and Save and then Done. Next window gives you some options. Once you have a person pulled up, you share and save. You can also edit what kind of options they have. This window is a drop down in which you can choose that someone can edit, they can comment, or they can just view. Then you create a document. Once you've started creating a document, you can do various items with it. Number one, if you go up to this button and click Comments, you get a comment window that looks like this, and you can create comments about the general document for your students. You can also make comments about maybe notes that you're taking collaboratively with someone at a meeting. If you want to highlight a section, you get a document box that is linked to, a comment box that is linked to that highlight. Therefore, you can then make a specific comment or question maybe about a term. This is helpful for kids taking notes. We've suggested to a lot of people that they have their students do collaborative notes, especially useful in maybe some struggling classes, and that way they can then take notes and help each other out. You can also insert a comment to go with a particular area, and if you'll notice, it gives you all the information on the bottom of the sheet here as well. This is what it looks like with comments. Comments are here, and then it's linked to what has been highlighted. This is what your students would see. The beauty of Google Docs is when you're using a document and your kids are sharing it with you, you can be editing, revising, you can be grading in real time. On our next slide, these are general comments when you just hit the comment button. Maybe you want to make a response to the entire piece, assign a grade, whatever the case might be. You can also then chat with someone who is in the document. So now I see over here that Mr. Crawford is also in the document. I go up here and I click here where it says Other Viewers, and I get this drop-down window that looks like a chat window, and that's just what it is. This is great to share with your students. Maybe someone is an ISD and needs to work on a project with his or her peers. Well, they can do that via this. They can make comments to each other, ask questions about the project, and it does not show up on the document itself, which is most helpful. This is where Justin and I started a chat window just to comment a little bit about this. I basically shared with him that I was creating this notebook file. Would he create a document, share with me, and we could share back and forth. These are also some comments we have made here about the text itself. Finally, let me see. Mr. Crawford's starting to add comments on my paper, and a nice sidebar comments about how he loves fireside chats. I've also insulted him in the chat window, so maybe that's why he started messing with my paper. If you have this problem, maybe you have students who share out a document with a peer. That peer decides to play havoc with it. If you go to File and see Revision History, you then get a window that is most helpful and looks like this. The students then can go back and see different versions of the same document because the document is always saving. They can also, excuse me, they can click on one of these and go back to that particular version. And Google Docs save automatically. When you go back to a particular version, you can clean it up and get rid of those extra comments. What do you have when you start having a multitude of documents, which we will, as more and more of us use Google Apps? You can create folders. Folders are just like on your desktop. Create them, name them. You will then drag the documents into the appropriate folder. Name your folder whatever pertains to you, and then you have a folder. The final piece I want to show you today is Google Calendar. Google Calendar is very helpful. You can create a classroom calendar that then you embed on your web page. You can also create a calendar, and such as this one that Mr. Crawford and I share for our scheduling purposes. So I see when he is in a classroom, he sees when I am in a classroom. We commonly book out things where both of us will be out, and you can share as much as you wish. You can also put personal attributes on there, various doctor appointments. If it's marked personal, it only shows up for you, nobody else. Now, I've closed out of my calendar. Couple of reminders. You notice over here on the drive, you have My Drive and Shared with Me. They are just that. My Drive being my creations shared with me, anything that is shared with you. You can also move all your documents into your drive if you do not wish to look at them multiple times. And this is also one spot that is handy for you. This button here uploads, meaning anything that you have created on your computer you can upload into a Google document. Most Word, PowerPoint, and Excel documents upload without any problem. You cannot upload notebook files. They do not upload at this point in time. But anything else you can pull up here. Then you would have it in your Google Drive as well, and easy to share out. You can also download any of these documents. You download it, you create a file on your desktop, and then you can save it as a hard copy for you personally, and it's not on Google. This last step will be important that everyone participate in prior to Christmas break. On December 19th, all of the current Google school accounts will be deleted. That's to make room for the all-new school accounts that everyone, all R8 faculty and staff, and all high school students will have. I'm sure this will even segue down into the 8th grade with the iPads. Then it will upload. Your login to the new accounts after Christmas break will be the same as the login to your computer. So prior to that time, you will want to download any and all documents that you have on your current Google School account. Then you can save them on your desktop, and then you will just then import them back in once we have our new accounts. Part 2 will be following on the Google Apps. We'll talk about creating a test, Flubberoo, and a few other activities. Thank you.